Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for getting this far through the course. It is May 15th, 2020, and I've got another update here for you. So the great thing about this course and purchasing this course is that I'm constantly making updates all the time. Let's see if I can get a little video in here. See if you guys can see me. Hey, hey. So it's May 2020, okay? And we've just had the halving event, all right? So the supply of Bitcoin from now has now been cut in half, all right? And it's also the coronavirus crisis right now, okay? COVID-19 on the planet. We're a few months well into it. And the Federal Reserve is printing tons of money. So two very massive, interesting events have taken place for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's why I'm so glad you've taken this course. So you finished the course, so now you know that the supply gets cut in half, okay, every few years. So we just had the last halving. Let's see, where are we? Here we go. We just had the Bitcoin halving May 11th, 4 days ago. Okay, so the supply was just cut in half. This was a massive event. So let me show you what this means. Okay, history tends to repeat itself. This is a image from, oh boy, this image I think is from, 2019. Okay, this is part of a newsletter that I'm a part of. And major developments, right? So 2018 or 2019 is when this image took place, okay? And we're now into 2020. So if you notice, take a look at the last few halvings. These red lines are the last few halvings. And look what happened eventually over time, over the next 2 years after the halving. Well, the price just shot up, right? Because supply and demand. So that's happened, that's occurred. Look at the percentage growth, okay, 4-figure growth and 5-figure growth. And we've just had ours. And I want to give you a deeper insight into what actually happens with the halving. So let's look here. So here's a nice image from a great little website. So can I move this around? Here we go. So this is the price where we're at right now, May 2020, okay? So everything does not shoot up in a straight line. There are significant dips. Over time, obviously, we know that the price increases, and it increases after the halvings. Here's another diagram. Look at that. Look at this long line up, okay? But there are big dips. So there's one dip there. There's another deep, steep valley here, and then a slow rising up. Here's the last halving before this one. Another, slow rising up and some dips, There's the big thing that we saw in 2017. Okay, and now here's a long deep dive down throughout 2019. Okay, and so here we've just had, before the halving, a huge dip, a huge drop, and now it's starting to make its way back up. So what I've learned, actually, it's important, is that the price does not just shoot up in a straight line like this all the time. It does go through these obvious, valleys and peaks, which happen all the time with markets. But with the halving, we've got a short dip, and oftentimes, look right now. Look at this. This is the price right now, just on the today. These are some of the top cryptocurrencies right now. These are the prices. Down 1%, down 1%, down 2%, down 0.5%. Okay. So it goes through these ups and downs. So you need to know that there's these dips, right? Look at this. That was a halving there, and a huge increase, and then a significant dip. Okay, but let me explain something for you. Okay, we're here in 2020, and billionaires. Here's 2 billionaires that are betting on Bitcoin. So here's a billionaire named Paul Tudor Jones. He's bet on Bitcoin. Okay, he says it's the best hedge against inflation. I'll come back to talk about inflation in a minute. And here's another guy who's been very vocal about Bitcoin recently, is Tim Draper, another Bitcoin billionaire, or just another billionaire who believes in Bitcoin, who's doubled down on Bitcoin. Okay, so he makes a prediction by early 2023, which is not that far away from now, Bitcoin will hit $250,000. Okay. Excuse me. For those of you that just said bless you, thank you. All right, so there's Tim Draper. Now, this is one article. Look at this funny little cartoon here. But if I go back in my Google search, Tim Draper Bitcoin, this guy has made he's been very vocal. Been very vocal talking about Bitcoin. Okay, he's become very, very vocal recently. All right, about Bitcoin, and you can Google this stuff yourself. And so he makes these predictions. He's an early investor in Twitter and Tesla. He also invested in Baidu, which is like the Google for China, and there's other things as well. So this guy is very vocal right now about Bitcoin. He's not just a young guy. He's an older guy. I think he's in his 50s. He's very serious, okay? So there's two great billionaires that are behind Bitcoin for you. Now let's talk about inflation. So what's happened recently is, come back to that in a second. Right now, the Federal Reserve, which is a business, okay? Take one of our other financial courses called the Wake Up Call on our website where we have all our courses. Take the course called Financial Wake Up Call. You'll learn in that course that the Federal Reserve is a business and they print money for the American government. And they print money from thin air. So the Federal Reserve reduces purchasing power by doing that and makes you poorer. So I mentioned in the meat and potatoes of the course that you just finished, the big 2-hour-long course video, I mentioned in that course how upsetting and frustrating it is when the Federal Reserve prints money. That was back in 2017, because what happens is it reduces your purchasing power and makes you poorer. Many people say that inflation is a tax on the poor. So what's happening right now is there's about 9 trillion. Some people say 9 trillion. Okay, let's read through this article. There's already been $2 trillion already. Okay, here we are, like I said, May 15th in the COVID corona crisis. There's already been $2 trillion printed from the Federal Reserve into the U.S. monetary system, and some say that it could go up to 6 trillion. Slap your head, slap your head, slap your head. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, these programs prolong and exacerbate the depression in the past. Okay, today's stimulus bill will do far more damage, this guy says, Peter Schiff. And look at this guy is Canadian talking about Canada. When central banks buy a security, they pay it with money they create out of thin air. There's more money in circulation, yes, but there's not more goods and services. So they debase, or also known as devalue, the currency and lower its purchasing power and make you poorer. Here's another guy saying this, okay? So Canada's doing this too. I'm Canadian, so they're printing money too. What they call it, they also call it quantitative easing. What a funny name, just call it printing money. You're just making up money out of thin air. So it reduces your wealth, devalues your currency, and causes inflation. So here's a guy, oh, there's me. By the way, subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. We just hit 500 subscribers. I'm making a real push to YouTube these days to gain awareness, to give people awareness about finances, money, cryptocurrency, and investing. So do me a favor, please subscribe to my channel, trying to make it past 600, 700, wherever, whenever you see this video, do me a favor, subscribe, please. Really looking to grow the channel and get this information out there. So check this video out by this guy. We're gonna watch this little clip here. Jeff Booth is a great guy, also Canadian. He is a very tech savvy man. He's invested in many tech startups, founded his own tech company, and he did this interview. He just released a really great book, okay? Very smart man. This is an interview worth watching. I'll put the link in the bottom here, or the next page, okay? The Fed's losing battle with deflation. He talks about deflation. So let me explain to you that inflation is the rise of prices of goods and services over time. Okay, gas getting more expensive, groceries more expensive, house prices more expensive. He says that inflation, and when the governments print money, it causes the value of those prices, those prices of those assets and all assets to go up. Okay, so he says Bitcoin is deflationary. Now, if you remember in the course, just the fact that they cut the supply in half is deflationary. That means it raises the value of your dollar. This is key, as opposed to inflation, which decreases the value of your dollar. So check this out. Let's watch this little clip of this guy here.
Some serious deflation that we would need to be able to go to a world where $500 in savings and no job is going to be able to get you through life.
So let's dig into that a little bit more. So today you have a problem, and let's just take what you just said. There's a whole bunch of people without $500 in savings. And I agree with that. There's a whole bunch of people. How will artificially printing more money solve their problem? Right? Because what you will do there is house prices will go up, stock prices will go up, rent prices will go up. They don't participate in any of those. And their dollars will be worth less and less as you drive inflation, and they won't be able to. So the current path cannot work. That's what I'm getting at. The new path, how we transition to something. I'm not saying there's too much debt in the world today. There's over $250 trillion of debt in the world to run an $80 trillion world economy. That debt is going to have to be figured out at some point on a transition. But what I'm saying is that transition is going to happen whether we like it or not. Your show talks a bit about Bitcoin. I believe it's one of the things in my portfolio. It's my hedge against this. It could go to zero. It could, but it has risk. It has up and down risk. But I actually believe it's one of those things that as governments debase their currencies, and they're going to have to continue to do so, then what is a currency? It's just a trust in an exchange rate. I lend you my money. I lose utility of money today, and you have the inverse. You gain utility of money today, which you can spend, and you lose it later with interest. And if that's an exchange between us or countries or companies and everything else, and you pretend to, if you change the denomination and you change your utility of money to pretend to pay me back, I start to lose trust in the currency. And that currency breakdown is likely what's going to happen at some point. So whether it's Bitcoin or a form of trust, that I see that as a really good hedge against what's happening, because at some point the existing system is going to break.
Bang! Booyah! Sorry, I get a little excited here. Definitely watch this video, check it out. Obviously, I did not create this video. The guy who does this interview, this guy, I don't know his name, but he asks some great questions. He is obviously a really great interviewer, okay? It's a really great video, so I'll put the link below if you want to watch the whole thing, all right? The guy said in there it's a great hedge against inflation. So as we know, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, okay? This is really fantastic. So with the Fed doing all this printing of money, you need a hedge against inflation. You need a hedge against this system, all right? So here we see a nice little chart here. I'm getting excited. US dollar purchasing power as measured by gold. Remember that gold is not what the US dollar is tied to. The US dollar is not tied to anything anymore, okay? Remember that. So what's happened in history, look at this, is the value and the purchasing power of the dollar has gone down, completely crashed, completely crumbled, totally crashed. And as they print more money, this continues to happen again and again and again. So 2008, let's say it's right around here, this mark here, 2008, 2009, when they did quantitative easing and they printed like, I think it was $800 billion. Look what happened. It went down further. It just tanked further. Now they're going to print, they've already printed $2 trillion, and they're talking about printing up to $6 trillion. So you've got to, just reading these headlines here, you've got to take other measures. You've got to change. You've got to change the way you do things, all right? You got to change what you're doing right now. You got to change the dollar, okay? The dollar is going to change, by the way. Oh, that's what reminds me. They've now talked about something called the digital dollar. The U.S. has created and been talking about something called the digital dollar. Look, digital dollar debate, digital dollar project, created formally. It's all garbage. 2 versions of the digital dollar. So look, when they came out with this, one of the first headlines when the Senate was looking at these coronavirus problems, talked about this digital dollar. I freaking laughed so hard. It's like, we've already got a digital dollar. We've got lots of digital dollars, actually. We've got many. Look at this. I want to show you this because I think in the course we talked about this. Look at this. 2017, the course, right? How many cryptocurrencies were there? Now it's May 15th, 2020. There's over 5,000. There's over 5,000 different cryptocurrencies. This is innovation, ladies and gentlemen. Here on my YouTube channel, you can see I talk about innovation and the game-changing effects of cryptocurrency and how cryptocurrency is here to stay and how it's technology that's not going anywhere, okay? So let me just get my head straight and see these other things. Okay, some other new developments too. We're gonna wrap this up. Fidelity Investments now offers crypto trading, okay? Fidelity Investments, fourth largest US asset manager, now offers crypto trading to its clients. Also, TD Ameritrade has, I believe, successfully rolled out their crypto platform as well. You can Google that. We're gonna wrap this up, this video. Thanks so much for watching. But first I wanna show you this. Look, more technology, more adaptation, more companies jumping on the blockchain and cryptocurrency bandwagon. Look at that. Visa files patent for cryptocurrency system to replace cash. Come on, did I say this was a matter of time or what? I totally said this was just a matter of time. So I want to share this last piece with you, and then we're going to wrap up. This is, look, bitcoinprice.com predictions with an update from 2020. Check this out. So here's some people, a lot of them millionaires, billionaires, you know, founders of different financial companies. Okay, they've made their predictions about what a Bitcoin will be worth. What a Bitcoin will be worth in the future. This guy's really big these days, right? By the way, he's got a cool podcast called The Pump. Pompliano, 100,000 by 2021. 2020, 91,000. This is interesting because we're in 2020. Ty Lopez, 60,000. He makes a good little statement though. Look at this. If a portion, 1% of the assets of millionaires globally invest in Bitcoin in the upcoming months, the price of Bitcoin could grow to 60,000. That's not an irrational statement. That's a pretty logical statement, okay? Another person, look, different research firms, investment firms, look at this. His prediction, 50K by 2020. These are US prices, by the way, okay? US prices. And look at all these people. And then look, they've made an update for 2020. And look, there's Tim Draper. There's our guy again, who we just talked about. He said 10,000 by 2018. He was correct. This guy also 10,000 by 2018, correct. This guy, John McAfee, hilarious guy. He's been really public, really funny recently. Incorrect, okay? And there's more, all right? So nice little site to go through. What's the price right now? I think it's 9,400 US around there when I checked about 20, 30 minutes ago. $9,473 US, all right? So there you go. There's our update, predictions, news, okay, Visa. Big news with Visa, obviously. In the last update, which I think was a year ago from this course, we had a little update. You got more news here. So little updates for you. Hope you enjoy the video. Continue on through the course. You're not done yet. Finish the last few modules. We'll see you on the other side. And again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. I'll have the link there. And thanks so much for going through this course and watching. And I acknowledge you again for being an early adopter and investing in yourself and investing in your education. See you next time.